This week at Fossil Ridge, we're honoring the Big Six. The Big Six are the most prominent civil rights leaders of the 1960s. They're all together in that picture. From the left, you see John Lewis, Whitney Young, A. Philip Randolph, Martin Luther King Jr., James Farmer, and Roy Wilkins, whom we'll talk about today. Roy Wilkins lived from 1901 to 1981. He was a journalist, a newspaper editor, and then he was the leader of the NAACP from 1955 to 1977. He was also a co-organizer of and a speaker at the March on Washington. He was born in St. Louis. His father had to flee the city before he was born for fear of being lynched for not giving up the sidewalk to a white woman. His mother died when he was 4, and so he was raised by an aunt and uncle in St. Paul, Minnesota. He graduated from the University of Minnesota. He was a member of Omega Psi Phi there. He edited 2 black newspapers after being a journalist, and then he replaced W.E.B. Du Bois as editor of The Crisis, the NAACP's magazine. He became executive secretary of the NAACP in 1955, and then its executive director. His involvement in civil rights was spurred by the lynching of 3 men in Duluth, Minnesota, but he believed in nonviolence and he opposed militancy inside the civil rights movement. He participated in the Selma to Montgomery marches. You can see him second from the left there in the picture. And under his leadership, the NAACP provided support to activists throughout the South. He believed in achieving reform through legislation. What you'll see of the Big Six is that they all had their individual ways of effecting civil rights. He worked with 5 presidents, with Kennedy, with Johnson, with Nixon, with Ford, and with Carter. Roy Wilkins was considered the senior statesman of the civil rights movement.